Hi, welcome to Undead Yarn. This is episode 15. My name is Heidi, and you can find me at Ravelry and Plurk as Knitty Girl, and on Instagram and Twitter as Knitty Girl 1. I wanted to go ahead and mention that we also have a Ravelry group. It's called Undead Yarn, and you should go ahead and enter into my group and introduce yourself so you can have a chance to win a skein of my yarn. And when we reach the next milestone, I'll go ahead and pull from the group and announce a winner. I wanted to go ahead and start talking about my works in progress. The first one you've seen a couple of times, but I've made a lot of progress on it now. This is Wicked by Sarah Bishop, and I'm knitting it with Elan.com Eurosaran, and I'm using my size 7 Addi Clicks. And here's the top. Here are the arms, and I'm going to stand up so I can show you how long it's gotten. I'm almost ready to bind off on the bottom. It's knit in the round, as you can see. So I'm almost at the bottom. And at this point, I'm going to have to start looking to measure for where to put the pocket. And I guess the bottom's going to probably end with some seed stitch. And then I have to decide, and it's going to be based on how much yarn I have left over, if I'm going to do either short sleeves or I may decide to do 3/4 length. I'm not sure that I'm going to have enough to have a long sleeve sweater, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be lucky. Probably not, though. It looks like right now I still have, two, I think, probably 2 1/4 balls left. So we'll see how much yarn is taken up when I finish it, and then attach for the pocket and see what I think. I don't know if I really want another long sweater. I would like I can always use a short sleeve sweater, because here sometimes in the morning it's cooler than in the afternoons. But as soon as summer hits, I'm not really going to be able to wear a wool sweater at all, even if it's short sleeves, because you wake up and it's 80 degrees already. So anyway, I also wanted to go ahead and talk about my next work in progress. I did make some progress on my leprechaun socks. Well, the socks in my leprechaun colorway. I'm doing basing my pattern loosely on Laura Linneman's Afterthought Heel sock. I'm pretty much just making a vanilla sock, and then I put in the waist yarn, but I don't really look at the directions anymore because the toe and the heel are the same, and you really don't need directions for that if you've made enough socks. Oh, and these I'm knitting on size 0s, and these are Knit Picks. I forget which ones. Oh, I guess it's Knit Picks. I don't know if you call them options when they're not interchangeables. They're fixed Knit Picks, and they're metal. And I like the fabric of a 0. It's really dense, but it's taking longer to knit. And I think I kind of miss my 1s. I'm used to knitting on size 1s, which is probably ridiculous to people who don't like to knit socks, because I know a lot of people don't want to knit on anything that small, but 1s, I'm used to them now, so it doesn't really bother me that much. The 0s are kind of bothering me, so I guess in that way I can relate to those of you who don't like to use smaller needles. So I do have some finished objects. My first one is I finished my Zombified socks. My Undead Yarn Zombified self-striping socks. Here's the first one. And I do need to get some sock blockers. I have made sock blockers for myself, but of course, now that I need to use them, I cannot find them. And there's no seam in them on the side. It's just that I've worn them already and washed them, so it looks like there's a seam, but there's not a seam, it's just a crease. So I am very happy with the way these came out. I have a pair. Here's my other one. And on this one I also use the Afterthought heel, and I'm finding that Afterthought heels fit me okay, but I really like a heel flap. I know a lot of people are trying that, not the OMG heel, I know some people are trying that, but everybody seems to be trying the Fish Lips Kiss heel. But I have knit short row heels before, and I really didn't like them. So from what I understand, the Fish Lips Kiss heel is a short row heel, and I don't think that I would enjoy making it. And since I didn't like the fit of the other short row heel I did, I'm not really in a hurry to try it, because I am very happy with the heel flap heel. I really like that. They fit well, and they're pretty, and I really love the way the flap looks. So anyway, the Afterthought heel seems to be working out great for me when I do the self-striping, because you can continue the stripes. You have more control over what happens when you knit your heel. So that was my first finished object, and I actually have a spinning FO. It's been ages because I was having trouble with my wheel. And I posted on Instagram, and I posted on Ravelry, and I got a lot of suggestions. I was like, oh, that's probably it. But no. And it was something easy, which is annoying because I took my whole, like, the mother of all, I took that off. I oiled my wheel. I put on a new bobbin. I redid the drive band. I, like, put a new drive band on it. Or I'm always mixing that up. Not the plastic one that goes around the wheel, but the one for Scotch tensioning. I think it's the drive band, but it may be called something else, because I've been confusing people when I ask them, even at the yarn shop. They're like, what part? So anyway, I tried fixing all of those things, and the thing that finally worked was turning this little knob that was under the mother of all. It loosened it up a little bit, and for some reason then it started taking in the yarn. My bobbin wasn't, it was spinning, but it was not taking the yarn in. It wouldn't take it up. So that finally is what helped me to get started. And I really wanted to work on the Western Sky Knits fiber, the Superfine Merino that I showed you guys that I had done one bobbin for, because I wanted to finish the second bobbin. But unfortunately, I messed it up because I was having trouble with it taking in the yarn. So it's probably not going to line up correctly now the way I wanted it to. But that's okay. It'll probably be a really fun barber pulled yarn. And I didn't, since I was trying, trial and error, I didn't want to use that fiber to work on my bobbin when I wasn't sure what was going to finally fix it. So I took out some yarn that I had dyed. I've been putting fiber in when I have leftover dyes to absorb the rest of the dye. And this is some orange that I dyed, and I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but this is various. Let's see, I'll give it a minute. I don't know if you can see sparkle there. A little bit, maybe. There's some sparkle in it, and it has many fibers in it. I know there's some mohair in there and some domestic wool, and then obviously some stellina. But I do not remember what else is in this. But I really, really, really enjoyed spinning the fiber that has the stellina in it. It was extremely soft, felt really nice, and it really has come out quite lovely in the skein. This is a skein. The colors are basically, it's like a light orange. It's not a dark orange, it's a lighter orange. And it kind of gradiates from darker to lighter. You can kind of see that in the skein. And it's just a 2-ply yarn. And I'm very happy with it. I'm probably going to use it on a homespun shawl. I have, actually, I think I've got enough to make maybe 2 homespun shawls, and I have the pattern I have a pattern that I'm going to use. It's actually one that was a free pattern from Classic Elite. If you don't get their emails, you should sign up to get them. They have weekly emails, and every week there's a free pattern, and there have been some really cool patterns in there. Sometimes it's, not anything that you might even need a pattern for, but they do have a lot of really cute patterns that they've given out for free. So sign up for the Classic Elite emails if you don't get them. I'm going to have to pull that out and find out where I put that pattern. But when I'm finished with my sweater, that's the next thing I plan to work on, is that. And probably I'm going to try to work on a shawl with my rainbow gradient yarn, so that y'all can see what it looks like when it's knit up. So that's it for FOs. I'm going to move on to the past couple of weeks in review. I did go to knitting group on Friday, which was fun. It's at my local yarn shop, which is the Happy You, and got to talk and hang out, and I signed up for a class, and I'll be taking in a couple weeks that I'll fill you guys in on after I take it. It's funny, this month I'm going to be taking a lot of classes, because I'm taking a class at the Happy You, and then the following week is Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Festival. And I have 3 classes that I'm taking there, and I actually got into the Yarn Harlots class on knitting Muada silk, and I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about the other 2 classes too, because they're going to be fun. One is a crochet shawl class, and the other one is reading Japanese patterns, and I'm looking forward to that too. And one of the teachers I've had before, and the other one I haven't, and they're all pretty big name teachers, so they did an amazing job getting really good people to come to the DFW Fiber Fest this year. So the other thing that happened in the last couple of weeks was my husband completed the lanai on the back of the house, and I love it. It's wonderful. We haven't put any furniture in it yet, but it's really cute. It looks like, I guess, if you don't know what a lanai is, those of you who live in Florida know what it is. But lanais can be different shapes. They can be really big or really small. When my brother lived in Florida, he had a huge lanai, and the purpose of that lanai was to go over the swimming pool, so it didn't get all kinds of junk in it, because down here there's year-round, there's leaves falling and stuff dropping or pollen flying. So ours is smaller. It looks more like a greenhouse, but it's not a greenhouse. It's like a little covering, and it's got it's made with metal and some kind of, I think, PVC plastic is over the windows, but you can actually open and close the windows, and there's screens in the windows. So when we sit out there, we can be out there without worrying about mosquitoes, which can go really crazy here in the summer. And I was going to take a picture of it, but I didn't today because it's cold and rainy, and it's weird. I woke up this morning, it was 71 degrees, and we decided to go out this morning to go to the grocery and run some errands, and I put on a t-shirt, and when I got out there, it was only like a couple hours later, it was freezing. So right now it's 39 degrees and it's raining. The weather here is just, it's crazy right now. I don't know what's going on. I guess it's like that everywhere, but we did yesterday, it was in the 70s, like high 70s, so it's been really crazy the last couple weeks. And then this week, I think the next couple days are going to be cold, and then again at the end of the week it's going to warm up into the 70s, which I am looking forward to, and I hope it lasts, because next week is my spring break and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll talk more about that after it happens. But I'm very excited for spring break. Spring break is a lot of fun every year in Austin. I also wanted to mention that we went to see this movie called Inside Llewyn Davis, and it was really good. It's one of the Coen brothers movies, so of course they have John Goodman in it and a lot of other, well, actually I didn't see a lot of other actors that I normally see in their films. he's the only one that I can remember for sure that I've seen in a lot of films. So there were different actors in this film, and it's about a folk singer in the 60s who lives in New York City, and it shows like a week of his life. And he's kind of a sad guy. He's like, he lost his partner. His partner committed suicide, and now he's trying to have a solo career, but he's having a lot of trouble getting gigs and making money, and he doesn't even have a place to live. Basically, he has like his guitar and a backpack that he carries around with him, and he crashes on various friends' couches every night. And it's interesting because it's looking at what life is like. Probably life is like for some people in New York City, because New York City is very, very expensive. And if you don't make a lot of money, it's very difficult. I guess it was even difficult back in the day, but now I'm sure it's pretty similar still. So it was interesting. You got to see different changes in his life and how he handled them. And the ending was not quite what I expected, but it was good. It was an interesting movie. I would recommend it. And then the other thing that we did the last couple of weeks, we got an email that Breaking Bad was up on Netflix streaming, and so we had to watch all of them. So finally saw the end of Breaking Bad, and now 2 of my favorite series are over. Dexter's over, and Breaking Bad's over. But the good thing about Dexter, and I don't know about Breaking Bad, I don't think that was based on anything. I think that was made up by the screenplay writers. But Dexter, I've finished listening to the first book of Darkly Dreaming Dexter, and it's different from the show. So I was very surprised at the ending of that one. It was not what I was expecting at all. And I may actually go ahead and read book 2. I was just going to read I listened to it. I was going to just listen to the first book, but since the ending was so different from what I expected, I think I'm going to try to get the second audio book too, because I'm very curious about what is going to happen next in Dexter. And I think the people who wrote the series, I think I might have said this last time, the people who wrote the Dexter series really caught the dark humor and the like quirkiness and bizarre thoughts that run through Dexter's head. I think they got their personalities. So I'm looking forward to listening to the next book too. And I also, let's see, what's next? Okay. I'm going to fess up. I know I said I wasn't going to buy stuff. Yeah, no, I did. I bought stuff this week. And the first thing is not really, I think it's a good thing because, like I told you guys, I don't have a lot of project bags because I generally use my old handbags because I have tons of bags. I like bags. But I went ahead and I wanted to try this new lady. I follow her on Instagram, and she has a podcast, and this is her card. She's called The Sampler Girl, and she has an Etsy shop, and she has come up with these really, really cute little bags. And this is called it's an Everyday Jane bag, the one that I bought. Most of hers are the Everyday Jane bag. And it's just so cute and very pretty. And, I love the horror stuff. And I have to admit, I am a little bit of a girly girl, and I like pretty stuff too. The only ones I don't really like is I'm not big on all those print ones with the animals and stuff, because to me that just reminds me of little kids. So that's probably why I don't really have a lot of projects bags, because I feel like most of the bags that are made, they're cute, but they just make me think, oh, a little kid would love to carry that around. And I'm not a little kid. So this is her Everyday Jane bag, and I love the fabric. It's so pretty. Look at that. It's Paris with roses on it and the Eiffel Tower. And it's a different shape, and I think I'm probably going to be able to put my sweater, now it's too big for the bag that I showed you last week. I'm probably going to be able to put it in this one because it's long and fat. Like, I don't know if you can, I guess you can see. Let's see. It's wide. And it's not tall, not terribly tall, but I'm pretty sure that my sweater is going to fit in this. And then look, this is what this is what I thought was so cute. Look at this. This is a ribbon. How pretty. She has a ribbon running through it for the closure. So this is what it looks like when it's closed. And I also wanted to say thank you to her because she gave me a really nice iTunes review. So last I looked, I had 2 iTunes reviews. If you guys want to leave an iTunes review, I'd really appreciate it. And if you'd rather leave an iTunes review for one of your other favorite podcasters, that's fine with me too, because that's really what gets us up in the searching. When you search for knitting podcasts, if you have a lot of iTunes reviews or a lot of good iTunes reviews, you will show up. More readily, more often, and that really helps all the knitting podcasts get recognized, and not just all the woodworking podcasts, because for some reason there must be a lot of woodworkers out there who go in and rate all those podcasts. So thank you, Sampler Girl, for the review, and you should go check her podcast out. She has an audio podcast, and she also has a couple of video podcasts up on YouTube. I don't think that she's planning to send those to iTunes, and I'm not sure. I think she's in the process of figuring out if she wants to be a audio podcast or a video podcast. So that was the first thing that I bought. Yes, I bought more. But I don't feel too bad about the other one, because I bought some. I'm sorry about me scratching my nose. I think I do that a little bit too much. I'm pretty healthy in general, but I do have severe allergies, and I'm always pretty much stuffed up. So I'm sorry if I'm rubbing my nose. I'm trying not to do that so much. Anyway, I bought some fiber from the Fiberista Files, and she had put up a coupon code because she's trying to go to That's me. I'm going to South by Southwest next week. That's not what she's trying to do. She's trying to raise money so that she can go to Stitches South. And so she had a coupon code up, and I've had my eye on a couple of things in her shop, and I was being good and not buying it because I was thinking, you can get her stuff when you go to Stitches South. But she had a coupon code. So I went ahead and I bought what I had been looking at. This is the Beach Towel colorway, and this is Mass Ham. And this is a fiber that I do not have. These are really, really gorgeous colors. I love gray. She's got a lot of colors in this one. There's a gray and a copper and pink and some browns. It's just beautiful. And this is 4 ounces. And then the other one I've been looking at a lot. It's been in there a while because I know this is probably, these are actually my favorite colors, but I know a lot of people don't really like these that much. I think people like more, people like blues a lot and they like greens a lot, but I really like browns and oranges and gold. Those are my favorite colors. And so this is, I believe this is BFL. Yes, I love BFL. It's so nice to spin. If you are a new spinner and you're trying to find something to spin, I recommend spinning BFL. You will love it, and it's good for a new spinner. It's I don't know what it is. I guess this, because I'm not up on everything, but I think it's the staple length is a little longer than merino, so it's easier to spin. But this is Brown Eyed Susan, and this is mixed BFL, and you can see the orange and the brown and the gold, and those are my favorite colors, so I had to get this one too. So, yeah. I bought some more stuff, and I also bought some stuff from Knit Picks because they were having a sale. And they're saying that they're gonna not have Felici anymore, but I don't really believe them because they've done that before. And it's self-striping, and everybody loves it. And the yarn is so nice to work with. It's very squishy. I got a maple colorway, and I got another colorway that was a green striping colorway. And then I bought some of their Bear yarn because I want to try it out and see what I think, if I like dyeing their yarn or not. So that's for enabling. And the last thing I wanted to do is show you guys the gray colorway that I put up in my shop that wasn't dry last time I podcasted. It's called Gravedigger, and I'm very, very, very happy with the way the color came out. I actually dyed it more than once to get this color, and that's fine with me because it's very hard. If you're a dyer, you know it's tricky to get just the right shade of gray. Grays are hard, blacks can be difficult. There are certain colors that are harder than others to dye. So I was very happy with what I got. And like I said, I call this one Gravedigger. This is on my DK Merino base, and it's 350 yards. And this is what Gravedigger looks like. It's all gray. It's a tonal gray. There's some spots that are a little darker than others. I don't think it's coming out quite right here. That might be better. But I do have a very good picture of the color on Etsy if you want to go look on Etsy. I'm very pleased with that. And hopefully, since I'm going to be on spring break next week, I have a bunch of shawls I need to block. And I'm hoping I'll have some more time for dyeing. Because if you work in the schools, you know, like starting in January, things get really crazy. Everybody's trying to get ready for testing, and people are worried that they did not refer children for services, and so it's been really crazy, and this week is going to be really crazy. And I anticipate from now until the end of the school year it's going to be very, very busy. So I'm going to still try to record every other week like I've been doing, but there may be a couple of lapses in there. And what I'm going to try to do is, if for some reason I have to miss one of my 2 weeks, I'll try to download one of the older episodes. I put some up, but then I had to take them down because you only have so much space, and video podcasts seem to take up a lot more space than other podcasts. Which, looking at the time right now, I really need to get going because I'm getting close to 30 minutes. I've never had one this long. And with that, I'm going to say, get busy knitting or get busy dyeing. And hopefully this time I can stop it. Stop! Please stop! I don't understand. Why won't it stop? I'm going to have to cut this.